Okay, we are live.
We're the only ones whose opinions matter. Hi, everybody.
It's true. We're off to a very humble start. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm in the desert. Okay, Megan, which I have to remind myself to call it Megan because Star has brainwashed me and I keep calling it M3GAN in my head. Right away, I can say that my final thoughts, like my thoughts during the movie, were poor Megan.
I I totally agree.
I knew you would.
I think other than maybe the dog, because the dog
Mhm.
obviously wasn't trained very well. Like all the people she killed deserved it.
Yeah. When the dog happened, I was like, "Oh no." But then they didn't
Yeah,
I like that they didn't really show anything. So I
yeah.
never, cuz I'm super squeamish, but
I know.
yeah, I was able to watch the whole thing.
The first time I watched it, I'm like, oh my god, like this is gonna be horrible. I don't like, because you could just tell like what's
Mhm.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, as soon as like the toy lands over there and Megan
Mhm.
sees it, I'm like, okay, this
Some
is not
shit is
good.
going to go down. I couldn't believe that lady when she was like defending the dog after that though. I was like, "Dude, he's like trying to eat that girl." Like, you can't really argue in
Yeah,
his favor. She was like, "Oh, well, they shouldn't be over here." Like, okay, maybe they shouldn't, but
yeah,
all they're doing is grabbing something. The dog shouldn't be like ready to attack. Like, if
yeah.
Megan was real, she would be dead. What did you think of Gemma?
Um, I liked her for the most part. Like, a I find as somebody who doesn't like kids and
Mhm.
doesn't have kids in their lives, like having to take in your niece
Mhm.
and not having like your house like properly set up for that and not knowing what the fuck to do,
Mhm.
I found super like relatable.
Same.
But then because I'm like, if my brother had kids and he died and I had to take them, I'd be like the exact same.
Yeah.
But then they say like, oh well, the dad's parents are willing to take the kid, and I'm like, dude, if I were in that position, I'd be like, yep, they can have him because they've clearly raised kids before.
I thought the exact same thing. I was like, "Oh, well, they should take because they've done it before. So let them have it." Remember when I was playing Detroit Become Human? It reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah, I did kind of think of that, and I also thought of how we were talking about going, how we wanted to go to that like
Oh
robot hotel
yeah. Oh my
in
God, we would
South
have the best
Korea.
time.
So I was like, oh, I think she would like this, and it's not like too like it's kind of a gateway horror movie, like something like preteens could
Yeah,
watch, or like
totally.
which I feel weird saying because I got to watch like horror movies when I was like in the single digits, but I'm also aware that most people don't get to.
Yeah, like I certainly did not. Even as a teenager, my parents were like, I don't know. Like my mom, when I was little, thought Aladdin was too scary for me. We had a very different upbringing.
Kind of like Happy Death Day, like they're kind of like fun, scary, like
Mhm.
they're not too graphic and they're not like too over the top with the scary. It's something like younger people that are just starting to get into horror can watch and not be like having nightmares.
Yeah, because it was kind of funny. Like, oh, this is scary, but it's also just so ridiculous. Like when Megan is chasing that asshole boy through the forest and she's like on all fours. It's like, okay, this is like not
Yeah.
scary, but it looks scary, but it's just like hilarious.
I didn't know how I felt about him at first, but I do kind of like Gemma's like sassy boss.
Oh yeah, I do too.
When she like just leaves without telling anybody and he calls and is like, oh, this is David, your boss.
I know
I'm like,
he's like
yep,
you
that
may
would be me.
he's like you may remember me. I'm your employer and that made me laugh. I didn't I felt like he was supposed to be kind of like the asshole boss, but I was like, "You know
Yeah.
what? Like this Gemma like redirected company funds to build a robot without telling anyone. Like he's well within his rights to like fire her or sue her. So it's kind of
Yeah.
chill of him to just be like, okay, just do your other work, please. Just do your job. Like that
Yeah.
that was pretty decent of him. I thought he was funny. I was
Yeah.
sad when he died. I was like, oh.
Me too. I was gonna say he's probably the one person other than, like I said, the dog was kind of horrible, but
Yeah,
he probably wasn't trained properly, so
it's not his
I
fault.
don't know if we can fully blame him. But the boss, definitely, I was sad when he died. Back to my talking about Gemma,
Oh yeah.
like because then she's like, "Well, my sister wouldn't have wanted her to go," but it's like very clear that her and her sister obviously weren't that close.
Yeah, I know. It was you could tell right
So it's like you
away.
don't know that.
Dude,
'Cause, yeah, her sister's, like, bitching about her before she died, and she, like, obviously doesn't know very much about their whole situation because I feel like if you were close with your sister, you would know that she had, like, screen time for her kid.
mhm. But like if I was close with anyone, if I had a kid, I would constantly be talking about like, "Oh my God, my kid is always like you would definitely know if I had screen time from like the way that I'm raising the baby and stuff." Like people love
Yeah.
talking about
I was say moms
rules.
are, like I could say moms are all about, like, fucking telling you about their
Yeah.
parenting their kids. Well, as a mom,
Mhm.
new catchphrase.
Yep, as a mom. So her not knowing any of that, she didn't even like what's her name? Katie was like, "What about screen time?" And she's like, "What the fuck is that? I don't care." Like, oh my God, like I
Which
loved
I can relate to, but
yeah.
if a kid told that to me, I'd be like, "You do whatever the fuck you want." Like, if a kid came to me and they were like, "Can I watch Halloween?" and they're like a little kid and their parents are like, "I don't want them watching horror movies," I'd be like, "Yep, go ahead."
Someone has to do it or else they're just going to be sheltered and weird forever. Like
Yeah,
that could have been me. But even
yeah,
so, when Katie was like, "You're not gonna read me a bedtime story," and Gemma was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go to work." It's like, well, she's an orphan. Like maybe you could spend like 3 minutes with her.
yeah. I was gonna say like there are a lot of things that like I relate to her with, and overall I like her. But
Mhm.
it's kind of like what we were saying with not on our stream, but like when we were talking about it with like people on Twitter. Like, yeah, Ginger wasn't annoying the whole time, but she does have her annoying
Yeah.
moments. I kind of felt the same way about Gemma because yeah, she doesn't even really try to make an effort,
Not at
but she's
all.
like, and they have other people who know how to take care of kids. They're like, we're willing to take this kid for you, and she's like, no.
I
But
know.
she still doesn't make an effort.
Pretty much every single person was like, maybe you should interact with Katie more. Like the therapist was like, you and your sister obviously weren't close. Like why don't you hang out? Like, why don't you spend some time with her? And she's like, ugh. And then her coworker Tess was like, well, why do you want Megan doing all of that? Like, shouldn't you be the one interacting with Katie? And
Yeah.
she's like, that's none of your
Yeah,
business.
I know. And that was another thing I was gonna bring up too because Tess, I can't remember if it's in that same conversation, says something about like, you shouldn't want like somebody else doing all this for your kid. And she's like, well, she's not my kid, and it's like,
Oh
well, she kind
yeah.
of is now if you're gonna take care of
I know
her.
you can't just like have a child move into your house and be their guardian and then be like, "Well, you're not my kid." Like, yeah, they are.
So it's like things like that. I was like, that's kind of stupid and annoying,
Yeah.
and I get it, but I'm like, the second that they were like, "Oh, the other like person's parents want to take this kid," I'd be like, you know
Mhm.
what, that's probably a good idea because I don't know how to take care of a kid. She doesn't want to make an effort with Katie. She
Mm-mm.
doesn't talk to her boss and be like, "Hey, my sister just died. Can I like get an extension?" Like everybody, all her coworkers were telling her to. She's like, "No, I can do it."
That's like even if you're not that sad about it, like what a get
It's gonna say I would like milk that shit.
Same. It's actually kind of a win-win if you don't like your sister and she dies. Like, and like her sister did seem kind of annoying. Like at the beginning of the movie when they're in the car and they're just like
Yeah.
arguing, and it's like, God, no wonder Katie is playing with her toys so much. Like listening to these people bicker is like unbelievably annoying.
Yeah. Well, and you know her mom must like suck because when she's talking to Megan later, and Megan's like, "Tell me like a nice story about your
Oh
mom,"
yeah.
or like a nice story is about how her mom was like bitching at her and then got like freaked out by a
I
cockroach.
know. I thought the same thing. I was like, that's not really a nice story. That's like I was expecting it to be something really sweet, and it was actually just my mom was annoying me, and then a roach crawled on her. Katie is like, is she 11? I don't remember.
Uh, I don't remember either. I was gonna say somewhere between like 9 and 11,
Yeah,
probably.
dude, she's such a brat. Like when when she was like, I need you to start going to school, I'm like, that's a completely reasonable request. And she's like refusing. And then her mom was homeschooling her, I guess. So I was like, this is another, like, I just think her mom must have been really weird.
But you know what? That actually, now that you bring that up, yeah, she did say her mom homeschooled her. But so what was the backpack with the freaking sandwiches
Right.
for?
Wait, what a good question. Continuity error. But I guess she could have been going
Jason
like,
Blum, we need answers.
yeah, seriously. Gemma, I related to her so much, but from the outside looking in, like if it were me, I would probably have made all the same decisions, but like me watching her, I was like, girl, you have to spend time with this child. Like she has so much trauma right now. Like, oh, and then it
Yeah,
killed me so much when the therapist came and basically like made her open up her collectibles because I know
yeah.
that those are like old and worth so much money probably, and she just like stabbed into it. I was like, couldn't you have just gone to Target and like gotten a Barbie doll?
Although at the same time, I don't know. I imagine at least like a day or two has passed before the fucking therapist comes. Like you didn't have time to go to Target and
Oh,
buy
that's
like
true.
your niece some toys. You were too busy for that.
But yeah, I knew I
Yeah,
loved Gemma when they were playing with it, and she was like, well, this toy does other things. Like, this isn't what it's for. But sure, let's roll it on the ground like a tennis ball. And then I thought, oh my God, like, when you have a kid, they're just in your house all the time. You can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna go hang out by myself. Like, you have to worry that, like, the child is not sad. That's so much
yeah.
work. It's like I was watching that and I realized like, oh wow, they really are in your house all the time. And you're gonna try to like do your own thing and they're gonna come in and be like, what are you doing? And you're like, wow, can you leave me alone? But they can't because they can't do anything. Oh my gosh. Wait, but so and then she made Megan, who I love.
Yeah.
And I didn't get like when
You-
she sent that email to her boss and she was like, "Hey, I'm actually not gonna make the perpetual pet." I was like, how is she not fired? Like, how is she not fired? That was incredible. They must like really like her.
Yeah. And watching this, I don't think I've really thought about it until the first time I watched, and I guess this is kind of skipping ahead. But when they had that news thing
Oh
and
yeah.
they showed all the like adult women dressed up like Megan,
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
know.
we gonna have women dressing up like slutty Megan for Halloween this year.
Ooh. Yes, we are. I'm gonna be one of them. What a good costume. You just need like a wig. Like
To say,
I don't know what I would do with an orphan in my house whose parents just died. Why are there so many spider? Oh my God.
oh, I have your stream on my phone, but I'm not watching. I thought
Oh.
you like just all of a sudden had like an infestation of spiders in your apartment.
Ugh. They like spray around our hallways and stuff, and I went out to get food, and when I came back, a big spider was like dying right on my welcome mat. And I was like, "Were you trying to get in my house?" I wish spiders could like communicate with each other and tell them like, "Hey, I went in there," or like Bob went in there and he died, and like Jack just tried, he's dead. Like, that's him over there. Like, let's not go over there. Oh, when Megan was killing that lady, the spray, that's me killing bugs. So much spray.
And you doing that, and then your husband's like, "It's probably enough," and
Yeah,
you just keep doing it
that's
anyway.
exactly what happened. There's a puddle in the apartment now. Like, I think that's enough. And I'm just like screaming. You know what did piss me off the most about Gemma though is when Megan like worked up while they were running diagnostics or whatever at work. And Megan was like, "How did Katie's parents die?" And she sounded like so concerned. And I thought that they would be like, "Oh my God, Megan, like you're so sweet." And instead they were like, "Ew, why is it on?" And then Megan was like, "What's death? Am I gonna die?" And like from playing Mass Effect and watching every single robot movie ever, this is a key moment in robot development.
Do these units have a soul?
Like when they learn what death is and start to question their mortality, that's when like if I had a robot, I would be so nice to them because I'm like this is when it's like really forming its opinions on like how to deal with death. And Gemma was like,
Yeah,
let's just like not make a big deal out of it. And I was like, well, no wonder she starts killing people. You just told her like, oh, everything dies. Who
yeah.
cares? So of course Megan's gonna be like, all right, well then I'm just gonna kill every single inconvenience.
I can't remember if it was that same conversation or if it's a different conversation when she's like, "Your only job is to make sure Katie doesn't get hurt." So it's like,
Hmm.
of course, anytime anybody hurts her, like, even if it's just a fucking paper cut, like, that thing's dying.
Yeah, and she said physically or mentally. So like all that therapist was just
Yeah.
having like a regular conversation and Megan was like, "You made Katie cry." And it's like, "Yeah, because we're in therapy and she's a brand new orphan. Like she's going to cry sometime."
And also, this is another thing that's kind of on Gemma too, because Gemma even like says like I didn't waste the time to put on like safety protocols.
Oh yeah.
She just wanted to hurry up and get Megan done so
Mhm.
that she could like raise Katie instead of her.
Yeah,
So
I
it's like
know.
you kind of brought it on yourself.
And instead she was
Oh,
just like, "Here, Katie, like spend all of your time with this thing forever and ever from now on. Please get attached."
yeah, this is like your only friend.
And the therapist said to her like, "Yeah, orphans look for attachments and she's now attached to the robot." And I'm like, I don't think you need to be a therapist to know that. Like, you don't have to have like a degree to know that if someone's parents die, they're gonna look to form new attachments.
Well, and that's another thing too, because usually in movies when there's a kid fucking screaming and having a tantrum, I'm like, oh my god, like somebody fucking kill this
I
kid.
know, same.
It's, in this case, I'm kind of like, Gemma kind of brought this on
She
herself.
sure did.
You know, she should have been more clear about like everything. She should have not had her spend like her entire fucking day with just only Megan.
There was a point where Megan and Katie, like when Megan was still new, they were just like outside by themselves, and I was like, she doesn't want to like supervise that at all. Like this is a brand new robot.
Yeah.
Like maybe you should keep an eye on that. So I just fully believe that Megan is just as much of a victim here as anyone else. She's a brand new life
Yeah.
that was neglected. You just can't kill people. Like that's
Yep.
all. I think if she had just sat down and had a conversation with her, like, hey, look, like, I know I said death wasn't a big deal, but you actually can't just kill everyone. Like, oh my God, I died. Like, Brandon, maybe, like, I kind of get it, because he was awful.
Oh my god,
He
yeah.
was he was, like, I knew he was going to be horrible because I saw him in the trailer. And then, like, also
Yeah.
you meet him and you're just instantly no. And Megan had a cute speech. She was like, bad boys grow up to be bad men. And I was like, yeah, he's gonna cause problems later in life. What a good movie, though. I just really liked Megan. And I was trying to figure out
Same.
if like it's just that you and I are weird and we always like the person we're not supposed to like, or if they actually wanted us to like Megan. Because at the point where she started dancing, I was like, they must want us to like Megan. Like that is so cute.
I think once her and Gemma start kind of like butting heads, I think that's kind of also when I started disliking Gemma more.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I like Megan more than Gemma because, like I said, Gemma does have some annoying like moments, and the fact that she like refuses to just let somebody else have this kid she very clearly doesn't want.
I know.
I'm like, okay, girl, like I can't feel bad for you anymore.
I know. And it's like Megan, she created Megan to obsess and raise Katie. So she can't be mad when that's what happens. Like Megan, I saw there was
Yeah.
a moment where I can't remember what was going on, but Katie was like obviously upset about something and Gemma just like didn't really care. I think it was when they were talking about school. Oh, it was. And Katie was like, "You can't force me to do something I don't want to do." And Gemma was like, "Actually, I can because I'm your guardian." And I felt like that could have been discussed better so that Katie would come around, but instead Gemma was just like, "No, I'm going to force you." And I saw Megan like clock that moment and be like, Gemma's not really good at this." So I
Well,
was like, "Yes, Megan, you and me both. Like we're thinking the same thing right now. Gemma is not prepared."
I I also like the part. I think it might be in that same conversation when Katie, because throughout the thing, or throughout the whole movie, there's the thing with her not using the coasters,
Oh my
and it
god.
like pissing Gemma off, and then
Mhm.
she had Megan like tell her to like use coasters, and then when she's like mad at Gemma,
Yeah.
Katie doesn't use the coaster, and she doesn't like say anything, and she just like gives Gemma that like
Yeah.
smirk.
She's like, "Fuck you, Gemma."
You know another robot movie that is free on Prime that maybe we should watch?
Ooh.
Chopping Mall. It's a like 80s like B movie slasher
Uh-huh.
about these like evil robots that are like security guards
Oh
at
my
this
god.
mall.
Wait, that sounds amazing. Oh my god, I'm being sniped with arrows. The fuck?
Maybe that could be next week's discussion
I'm so down.
to go with Megan.
Oh, I know. Okay, off topic for a bit, but when does that Harry Potter HBO thing come out? Do you know?
I don't think they have a date yet. I
Okay.
think they just announced they're making it.
Uh-huh. Oh
Because
my
they didn't
god.
even say like a cast list or anything, so but yeah, I saw that and I was just like I have to share this with Alien. I was tempted to retweet it and be like, "Oh my god, just let Harry Potter
No,
die."
for real.
But
I think that whenever it does happen, we should that's when we should do our Harry Potter stream. Unless it's like 4 years
yeah,
from now, because I don't want to wait that long. But
yeah, I have no idea when it's coming out, but
it probably is like years from now. If they're just like
like
announcing
like I
it.
said, like I told you, if that they had announced it like 15 years ago, like
Mhm.
halfway through when the movies were coming out, and they
Mhm.
were like, "Hey, we're gonna make like another version of this that's more faithful to the books." I'd be
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, sure."
I
But
would have
it's the
loved it.
fact that it's been like over 10 years. They are making a sequel,
Really?
so
Ooh.
yeah,
They definitely left an
I
open door for a sequel with like the Alexa thing powering on by itself.
I think it'll be interesting. I'm curious if it's gonna be the same Megan or if it's gonna be a different one. Like the same robot, or like if it's gonna be like the same, like the exact same one that like went crazy and killed people, or if it's gonna be a like this is gonna work this time,
Oh
and they're
yeah.
gonna have a different one, and that one's gonna go crazy.
I bet you that's what happens because people still saw like the trailer and the demonstration of Megan having that really lovely moment with Katie where Katie was like, "My parents are dead and I'm sad." And Megan was like, "I am gonna help you get over this because I am the greatest." And everyone was like, "Holy shit, that's incredible." Like, of course someone else in that room is gonna try to recreate that on their own. I would.
Maybe I don't know if the assistant was stealing company information for a different company, but if he gave it to a different company, maybe they're gonna
Oh
make a
yeah.
M3GAN.
Oh my God, I've come into this cave like 6 times. I keep thinking I'm in a new cave and it's the same cave. Like in the
Oh, there's
game
a lot of caves here.
and in real life, I would be like, "Ooh, a cave."
I also like in that little video that the boss made when they had the little thing with Katie
Oh yeah.
talking about her dead parents, and he's like, "Imagine how much your kid would love, or how much all kids would love Megan, not even the ones with dead
I
parents."
know. He was like, put together a script so I sound like I know what I'm talking about. And then he still like did not at all sound like he knew. It's one of those movies where I watched it and I liked it right away and I just want to like rewatch it.
I think I've watched it 3 times now, so I totally get that because yeah, it's funny and kind of cute,
Mhm.
and it's kind of scary, but it's not too scary.
Like the pacing of it was different. Like it was immediately a little bit weird with the commercial where it's like a pet that lives longer than you do. Like that was odd and then it just like it kind of starts seeming like a normal movie because like Katie's parents die, but it's not like in a especially scary way and then it just like pans to Gemma at work and you like forget that it's even a scary movie and not just like a
Yeah,
family movie at that point.
because I know a lot of people on Twitter were like, "Oh my god, this is the best movie ever." Like, I don't think it's on like the original Halloween level,
Mm-mm, no.
but I do think like it's good for like especially a modern horror movie.
Yeah.
Because even those ones, like, even if I like them,
Mhm.
I still don't like rewatch them very much.
Yeah.
Before Megan, I think the only other newer horror movie I felt that with
Mhm.
is Happy Death Day,
Oh yeah, I still
which
need to
also,
watch that.
yeah, I that's on my list of things we should talk
Oh
about
good.
sometime. But like but that also was a little unique because it's like, a slasher movie, but it's also got the like Groundhog's Day premise. So
Oh.
I do rewatch the like new Halloween trilogy though.
Uh-huh.
But I just kinda instead of thinking of that as a modern movie, I just kinda lump that in with the Halloween franchise and I'm just gonna watch those.
Yeah. Megan I could see like kind of actually happening. Well, and I like anything that makes you think about like robots and like robots as humans and like imposing human morality on robots and like them becoming sentient. And I think Megan is going to be a cult classic the same way Jennifer's Body is because it's just so silly.
Yeah. Yeah, because when it first came out, I think people just expected it to suck.
Yeah.
Like, like I feel bad saying that, but I think because I even was like, looks kind of interesting, but so many modern like horror movies aren't
Mhm.
like even if the trailer looks good, you kind of regret watching it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. But then everyone on Twitter was like, oh my god, this is the best movie I've ever seen.
I don't feel like they advertised it very well because when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, this seems like it's up my alley." But then I was like, "But it just seems almost goofy. Like it doesn't seem like they actually put effort into it."
I know, like, people also compared it to the remake of Child's Play,
Oh, I don't know
which
what that
I'm
is.
assuming. Oh, you haven't heard of Child's Play?
I don't think so.
It's like the movies with Chucky, the like killer doll.
Oh, I always thought that movie was called Chucky.
The later this is where it gets confusing because the first like two are, and then I think after that they just start like calling them like Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, like all that. So, like I will agree, it's like kind of similar because in like the original, it's a doll that like gets possessed by a serial killer. Or,
Oh.
like the spirit of a serial killer. The original like series is great. Like, you know, cheesy kind of way. Like they're nowhere near like Halloween level, but they're
Oh
still
yeah.
kind of fun. The new one was like it's just a robot, and this one guy was gonna get fired, so he like purposely made the one he was working on like malfunction.
Oh.
So it was just like a doll that like a robot doll that went crazy, kind of like
Oh
M3GAN.
yeah.
I don't like I don't like the Child's Play remake though because it has Aubrey Plaza in it,
Oh,
and
that's weird.
she's like, you know what? I'm actually gonna say she's not like she's usually kind of funny. She's not that great though.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm accidentally killing this like hippo. So what I don't like love about the fighting in this game is like you and your team will be engaged and you're like fighting like a bear or like something that's trying to hurt you or like evil people. And then like you're
Yeah.
out in the world, so there's like random innocent wild animals that are just running around, and then your dumb team is like, "Oh my god, a threat." And they just like kill like this like fox or something. And you're like, "Okay." I'm like, "Why? Why are we doing that? Don't do that. Don't kill random
Yeah.
innocent animals. This isn't John Wick."
I actually have not seen any of the John Wick movies, but
Uh-huh.
I've seen Keanu Reeves and other things, and I kind of love him.
Yeah, he's amazing. So, I don't really remember anything that happens in the John Wick movies, but I don't think you're even supposed to remember. I think they're just like pointless fighting. I think it's basically just an excuse to look at Keanu Reeves for 2 or 3 hours. Like, other than like the dog dying and like there's a lady who also dies. I don't even remember if she dies or she kills herself. And then Keanu Reeves in a suit, and that's all I couldn't tell you a single thing about those movies, but I enjoy them.
All I know is one of my friends reposted a TikTok was like doing like this is basically a John Wick movie and it's just like people dancing and then someone comes in and they start fighting.
That sounds accurate. Keanu Reeves just starts like shooting people. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about I feel like they were making fun of a specific kind of mom. Well, they definitely were. I don't know why I said feel like. Let me add that to the counter. When Brandon's mom was like, "Oh, and they say like behavioral problems are linked to a high IQ, so it makes sense." And it's like, no one says that, but I was like, is this like a type of mom that has just like a shitty kid and acts like he's just really smart?
Probably.
Ew.
It did make me laugh the first time I watched though when she's like, "Oh, this is my sweet kid over there," and then it's like, "Brandon," and there's like 5.
I know. I like how Gemma doesn't like she's never fake. Like she's obviously annoyed. Like she was not nice to that mom at all. She didn't do like what I probably would have done and acted like just tried to get into it and made small talk. Like she was just like, I'm not interested in you or your weirdo kid. Like, why is your kid so old? I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing on Insanity. I don't think I'm really supposed to be here yet. I think my level is too low, but I'm not even paying attention. There's a slave here. Why is their name Slave? Surely that's
I
not their
hope
name.
I hope that nobody that's watching is watching for the gameplay because
I'm literally just walking around and fighting and like dying and like picking things up. Oh, I'm hungry.
I I can't remember what Sidar said that he thought the message of M3GAN was,
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about the message.
but I was like, that's not the message I got. The message I got was like, don't fuck with robots.
Star.
Oh, I think it's like don't rely on technology or something. I can't fucking
Oh,
remember. Something weird like that.
that's probably the
Or
message. Ooh. Oh, that killed me. I'm doing it again. Oh, I'm alive. Okay, I think that's a good stopping point. Bye.
hey.